Malala Yousafzai, a voice that changed the world. Malala Yousafzai's life, impact, and ongoing legacy as one of the world's most influential advocates for education and women's rights. Early life in the Swat Valley. Malala Yousafzai was born on July 12, 1997, in Mingara, a city in Pakistan's Swat Valley. Her early years were shaped by the strong influence of her father, Ziauddin Yousafzai, an educator who ran a chain of schools and was a passionate advocate for education. Unlike many fathers in their conservative Pashtun society, Ziauddin celebrated his daughter's birth and encouraged her education from the beginning. This support would prove crucial in shaping Malala's future activism. The Swat Valley, known for its natural beauty and once a popular tourist destination, began experiencing significant changes as Malala entered her school years. The Taliban's increasing influence in the region brought strict interpretations of Islamic law that particularly affected women's rights in education. This transformation of her homeland would become the backdrop against which Malala's courage and conviction would emerge. Finding her voice. At just 11 years old, Malala began blogging for the BBC under the pseudonym Gul Makai, describing life under Taliban rule. Her blog provided a unique perspective on the growing restrictions on girls' education and daily life in the Swat Valley. She wrote about the fear of going to school, the sound of bombs, and the tension of living under constant threat. These writings demonstrated remarkable maturity and insight for someone so young, offering the world a window into the reality of life under extremist control. As her profile grew, Malala began speaking more openly about girls' right to education. She appeared in a New York Times documentary and gave interviews to Pakistani media, becoming a recognized voice for educational rights. Her father's encouragement and her own natural eloquence made her an effective spokesperson for this crucial cause, even as the dangers around her increased. The attack and its aftermath. On October 9, 2012, when Malala was 15 years old, Taliban gunmen stopped her school bus and shot her in the head. The attack, meant to silence her voice, instead amplified it globally. The shooting sparked international outrage and brought unprecedented attention to the cause of girls' education. Malala was airlifted to Birmingham, England, for specialized treatment, where she underwent multiple surgeries and months of rehabilitation. The attack marked a turning point, not just in Malala's life, but in the global conversation about children's rights to education. The Taliban's attempt to silence a schoolgirl backfired spectacularly as the world rallied around her cause. During her recovery, Malala's story inspired millions and transformed her into a global symbol of peaceful resistance and advocacy for education, global impact, and recognition. After her recovery, Malala's influence grew exponentially. In 2013, she gave a powerful speech at the United Nations Youth Assembly, declaring, "One child, one teacher, one book, one pen can change the world." This speech marked her emergence as a global leader in education advocacy. The same year, she published her memoir, I Am Malala, which became an international bestseller and provided insights into her life, beliefs, and the events that shaped her activism. In 2014, at age 17, Malala became the youngest person ever to receive the Nobel Peace Prize. Sharing the award with Indian children's rights activist Kailash Satyarthi, the Nobel Committee recognized her struggle against the suppression of children and young people, and for the right of all children to education. This recognition further elevated her platform and provided additional resources for her advocacy work. The Malala Fund and ongoing advocacy. Through the Malala Fund, which she co-founded with her father, Malala has worked to build a world where every girl can learn and lead. The organization focuses on education in crisis, supporting education in areas affected by conflict, natural disasters, or other emergencies. Local education champions. Investing in local educators and activists who understand the challenges in their communities. Education innovation. Promoting new approaches to education, delivery, and quality. Policy advocacy. Working with governments and international organizations to increase education funding and remove barriers to girls' education, academic achievement, and personal growth. While continuing her advocacy work, Malala pursued her own education with characteristic determination. In 2020, she graduated from Oxford University with a degree in philosophy, politics, and economics. Her academic achievement demonstrated her personal commitment to education and served as an inspiration to millions of girls worldwide. Philosophy and approach to activism. Malala's approach to activism is characterized by several key principles. Nonviolence. She consistently advocates for peaceful resistance and dialogue, even in the face of violent opposition. Education as empowerment. She views education not just as a basic right, but as a transformative force that can break cycles of poverty and oppression. Inclusivity while focusing on girls' education. She advocates for universal access to education, recognizing that societal progress requires educated citizens of all genders. Cultural respect. She balances advocacy for universal rights with respect for cultural traditions, demonstrating that rights and culture can coexist. Challenges and criticisms. Despite her widespread acclaim, Malala has faced various challenges and criticisms. Some in Pakistan view her as a Western influence or question her continued residence in the UK. Others debate whether her global celebrity has overshadowed local activists. However, she has consistently responded to criticism with grace and maintained her focus on the fundamental goal of universal education access. Personal life and evolution. As Malala has grown into adulthood, she has continued to evolve both personally and professionally. Her marriage in 2021 sparked discussions about balancing traditional values with progressive advocacy. She has maintained her commitment to education while expanding her voice on other issues, including climate change and refugee rights. Impact on international development. Malala's advocacy has influenced international development in several ways. Education funding. Her work has helped increase global funding for education initiatives, particularly in crisis regions. Gender equality. She has highlighted the intersection of gender equality and education access, influencing policy approaches to both issues. Youth empowerment. Her example has inspired youth activism globally, demonstrating young people's potential to influence major social issues. Legacy and continuing influence. Malala's legacy extends beyond her personal achievements. She has transformed the conversation, changed how the world discusses girls' education and youth activism, inspired a generation, demonstrated the power of young voices in global affairs, created practical change. Through the Malala Fund and other initiatives, she has directly impacted educational access for thousands of girls. Future challenges and opportunities. As Malala continues her work, several challenges and opportunities lie ahead. Expanding impact, finding ways to scale successful educational initiatives globally, addressing new barriers, adapting to emerging challenges to education access, including technological divides and climate change impacts, sustaining momentum, maintaining focus on education access amid competing global priorities. Conclusion. Malala Yousafzai's journey from a young blogger in Pakistan's Swat Valley to a global education advocate represents more than personal triumph over adversity. She has become a symbol of hope and possibility, demonstrating how one voice can catalyze global change. Her ongoing work through the Malala Fund, her continued advocacy, and her personal example continued to inspire and challenge the world to ensure every child has access to education. Her story reminds us that the most powerful changes often begin with individual courage and conviction. As she continues her work, Malala's influence on education, women's rights, and youth empowerment will likely grow, shaping how future generations approach these crucial issues. Her legacy demonstrates that age, gender, and circumstance need not limit one's ability to affect positive change in the world.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, and share. Support to me.